Hi there guys, I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech, and in this video I will be comparing the Vivo Z1 Pro with the Redmi Note 7 Pro. First I'll start off with the pricing. Vivo Z1 Pro is priced at 15,000 rupees for 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. That's the base variant, and these are the other pricing information. Redmi Note 7 Pro is priced at 14,000 rupees for the same 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. These are the other variants. Currently both phones are being sold in an open sale, so at least right now you don't have to wait in a line to buy either of these phones. Now both phones are sold online on Flipkart and their own websites like Vivo and mi.com. With Redmi Note 7 Pro you can also buy it in Mi stores and other Xiaomi's offline partners. While with Vivo we can only buy it online as of now. They might roll it in the offline market pretty soon. So guys, that was the pricing, and there's just 1,000 rupees difference between both the phones, but in terms of what they offer, there's a huge difference. Now first I'll start off with the design and build. Redmi Note 7 Pro has more of a traditional design with 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass 5 on the front and back for protection with this Aurora design, and I have the red color and it looks pretty cool. It has a thickness of 8.1 mm and weighs 186 grams. Now with the Vivo Z1 Pro, on the front you get a 2.5D curved glass, and on the back it has a 3D curved fiberglass with a cool pattern underneath. And yes, it does look pretty cool. Now the Z1 Pro has a thickness of 8.85 mm and weighs 201 grams. Now when you hold both phones in hand, you can clearly feel that Redmi Note 7 Pro is slimmer and weighs less than the Z1 Pro, while Z1 Pro is a bit thicker and heavy. Now when it comes to weight distribution, both kinda suck, but comparatively it is slightly better on the Z1 Pro. Now if we look at the front design, with the Z1 Pro you get that punch hole design, which is the latest trend. With the Redmi Note 7 Pro, you get the same old dot notch, which looks pretty old. Besides that, overall bezels on the Note 7 Pro are pretty huge, like bigger than the Z1 Pro. So guys, overall when it comes to design and build, you can pick the best one based on your preference, but I'll pick the Z1 Pro because of the punch hole design and the 3D curve on the back. Now when it comes to hardware, both phones are pretty evenly matched once again. Both phones come with all the basic sensors including gyroscope and compass. Both phones have fingerprint scanners on the back and a 3.5mm audio jack as well. Now coming to some advantages, Redmi Note 7 Pro also has an infrared blaster at the top. Using that you can control your TV, AC or anything with an infrared remote. And it also has a USB Type-C charging port. Now Vivo Z1 Pro doesn't have a IR blaster and also comes with a micro USB charging port, which is kinda old. But it still has a dedicated SD card slot, which is missing on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Both phones have support for dual SIM with dual 4G, and both phones even have dual VoLTE, and both have native video calling support. Both phones also have Bluetooth 5.0, so better range and better security as well. So if you're tight on the budget and if you are going to buy the base variants of both phones, then it would be better to have Vivo Z1 Pro because of the dedicated SD card slot. Now the fingerprint scanners are fast on both phones, but comparatively it is super fast on the Z1 Pro. The same thing applies even to face unlock. Whether it's good lighting conditions or low lighting conditions, face unlock just works faster on the Vivo Z1 Pro. So guys, overall in the hardware department, considering the faster fingerprint scanner, faster face unlock feature, and most importantly the dedicated SD card slot, I'll once again pick Vivo Z1 Pro as the winner. Now let's talk about the display. Redmi Note 7 Pro sports a 6.3-inch LTPS display with Full HD Plus resolution, 409 ppi, 450 nits of brightness with 19.5:9 aspect ratio, and finally with that dot notch display. Vivo Z1 Pro sports a 6.53-inch IPS display with Full HD Plus resolution with a punch hole design, 19.5:9 aspect ratio. Now when it comes to brightness, both phones are sufficiently bright, sunlight legibility is good, but comparatively Redmi Note 7 Pro is slightly more brighter. Even in terms of picture quality, display on Redmi Note 7 Pro is slightly better than Vivo. Blacks look better and color reproduction is also slightly better on the Redmi Note 7 Pro. Now with that said, Z1 Pro has a slightly bigger display, the new punch hole design. So whether it's for gaming or media consumption, obviously Z1 Pro's display will look better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro. So in the display department, once again I'll call it a tie, and you can pick the best one based on your preference. But if it was me, I'll pick Vivo as the winner. Now let's talk about cameras. Redmi Note 7 Pro sports a dual camera setup on the rear with a 48MP primary camera with Sony IMX586 sensor and a 5MP secondary camera for depth sensing. On the front, it has a 13MP camera with f2.0 aperture inside that dot notch. Vivo Z1 Pro sports a triple camera setup with a 16MP primary camera with Sony IMX499 sensor, a 8MP wide-angle camera with 120° field of view, and finally a 2MP camera for taking portrait shots. On the front, inside that punch hole design, it has a 32MP camera with f2.0 aperture. Now I've already posted a dedicated camera comparison, you can check that out for more sample shots, but here's the gist. Now when it comes to rear camera performance, primary cameras on both phones are pretty good. With Redmi you get more of a saturated look, while with Vivo you get more of a natural look. Personally I like the images from Vivo. For rear camera portrait shots, Redmi does a better job with edge detection. For selfies, Vivo is undoubtedly better than Redmi. Selfies from Vivo have better color reproduction, better skin tones, and better dynamic range. Same thing applies even for portrait selfies. For rear camera video recording, both phones support electronic image stabilization, and stabilization is good on both phones. Redmi has a bit of focus hunting issue right now, which can be fixed with an update later. For front camera video recording, once again Vivo does a better job. Vivo also has an extra wide-angle camera, which is missing on Redmi. Now these are some sample pictures taken with the wide-angle camera on Vivo and the primary camera on Redmi. So guys, overall when it comes to rear camera performance, there isn't a huge difference between both phones, and with Vivo you also get that wide-angle camera, which is an added benefit, and when it comes to front camera, Vivo is definitely better. So overall in the camera department, I'll pick Vivo as the winner. By the way guys, Redmi Note 7 Pro has Camera 2 API support while Vivo doesn't. If you are willing to do that, you can pick Redmi Note 7 Pro as the winner for the camera department. Otherwise, Vivo Z1 Pro is still a better choice. Now when it comes to performance, Redmi Note 7 Pro sports a Snapdragon 675 processor with Adreno 612 GPU. Vivo Z1 Pro sports a Snapdragon 712 processor with Adreno 616 GPU. Now these are the Antutu and Geekbench scores. So when it comes to CPU performance, Redmi Note 7 Pro is definitely better, but when it comes to GPU performance and internet speeds, Vivo Z1 Pro is better. On normal usage you won't notice much difference between both phones, but while gaming, Vivo Z1 Pro definitely has an edge. Now besides that, if you play PUBG a lot, on Vivo Z1 Pro you get some extra cool options like 4D shot, game counter and voice changer, which are not available on Redmi Note 7 Pro. So guys, overall when it comes to performance or gaming experience, Vivo Z1 Pro is slightly better than the Redmi Note 7 Pro because of the raw performance itself. If you're not a gamer, you can consider this round as a tie. But as I said, if you want performance and if you're a gamer, then Vivo Z1 Pro is the winner. Now when it comes to software experience, both offer completely two different worlds. All the UI elements are completely different on both phones. With Redmi, you get MIUI 10. With Vivo, you get FunTouch OS. Now both UI have their own pros and cons, and it's all about personal preference. So in the software department, I'll call it as a tie, and you can pick the winner based on your preference. By the way guys, when it comes to updates, Redmi Note 7 Pro will get more updates than Vivo in the long term. Now for the audio department, both phones have a 3.5mm audio jack and a mono speaker at the bottom. But when it comes to audio experience via the headset, Vivo is slightly better than Redmi. And as for speaker loudness, both are sufficiently good enough for regular usage, but comparatively I liked it more on Redmi. Overall, considering the audio experience on the headset and that 3D surround sound experience, especially for PUBG, I'll pick Vivo as the winner in the audio department. Now finally, when it comes to battery, Redmi Note 7 Pro sports a 4000 mAh battery, supports fast charging, but comes with a 10W power adapter inside the box. Vivo Z1 Pro comes with a massive 5000 mAh battery, it supports fast charging, and also comes with an 18W fast charger inside the box. By the way guys, you can also buy a Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 at 500 rupees on MI website or MI home. So even with that, price of Redmi Note 7 Pro will be about 14,500 rupees, while at 15,000 rupees, you get Vivo with a quick charger inside the box. So there isn't a huge difference in price. So fast charger is something you can ignore. Now when it comes to battery life, both phones are really good. If you're a very normal user, you can even get 2 days of battery life on Redmi Note 7 Pro and a little more on the Vivo Z1 Pro. So if you're not a heavy user and don't play games a lot, then you can consider this round as a tie. But if you want bigger battery life, better battery life and fast charging, then obviously Vivo Z1 Pro is the winner. So guys, to conclude, Vivo Z1 Pro is definitely better than Redmi Note 7 Pro. So for just extra 1000 rupees, you're getting a dedicated SD card slot, punch hole design, better performance, more software features, bigger battery and better battery life, and fast charger inside the box. So guys, if you want my suggestion, I'll definitely suggest you to buy the Vivo Z1 Pro over Redmi Note 7 Pro. So guys, out of these two phones, which one will you pick and why? Do let me know by commenting below this video, and if you are planning to buy any of these phones, use the link in the description, it always helps the channel. If you want us to make any specific video, tweet out to us with the hashtag AskGreedyTech on Twitter and we will try to make it as soon as possible. I'm Nikhil from GreedyTech signing off, have a nice day.